Good morning, Wildcats. Happy Wednesday here at West Lane. We do have a special guest with us today. We'll get to that when we get into some of the announcements pieces. And so I do want to go ahead and start announcements really quick, right? So let's get to them. All right, today is Wednesday, September the 11th, 2024, and these are your morning announcements. The mission of West Lane Middle School is to reveal the genius of each Wildcat through a culture of joy, respect, and excellence. We believe every person deserves to be seen, affirmed, and to grow. All right, let's make sure our lanyards and IDs are around our necks. Our binders, agenda books, and writing utensils are with us. Hats, sunglasses, and hoods are off. Backpacks and purses are in our lockers, and AirPods and phones stay at home. Blankets also stay at home. Or I'm sorry, AirPods and phones are in our lockers too, and blankets stay at home. Today is a white day with advisory, which means we have block 6, 7, lunch period 9, and 10. Our first reading challenge is started. Log your minutes. Right now, the 8th grade is ahead. I should have update tomorrow during announcements. Very exciting. And did you know this week is, or this month is Spinal Cord Injury Awareness Month, and there are approximately 291,000 people in the United States living with spinal cord injuries. And we're going to talk to one right now in just a second. All right, so with us is teacher extraordinaire Miss Richardson. Miss Richardson, welcome. Now, listen, she's actually been at West Lane longer than I had, because when I came to teach here in like 08, 07, you were an 8th grader, right? So we missed each other by a year because I taught 7th grade, but then we got a chance to hire you. Then you taught for us, you've been an IA for us, you're going to teach for us in the future, teaching for us now. Talk to me about why you're why you're passionate about Spinal Cord Injury Awareness Month.
I'm passionate about spinal cord injury awareness, obviously, because I was in a car accident last year, and it changed my life dramatically. I will say that. And there's not a lot of awareness when it comes to spinal cord injury. People see me in a wheelchair and they assume, I was born like this or it's a disability, but they don't realize that you could be in a wheelchair for spinal cord injury as well.
So what are the effects? So we talked about being in a wheelchair. Like, we know there's different types of, because we talked about this a little bit on you actually share with us that presentation, that slide. So different types of spine, or what are the effects of a spinal cord injury?
Okay, so my spinal cord injury is I'm a T12 or P10, which means from my belly button down, I can't feel anything. So some of the effects are just like, obviously I can't move my legs. I have some involuntary movement, which is spasms that happen. Um, but I'm still able to move around with obviously my wheelchair and show up, do my job. I'm very capable, even though I can't move my legs.
And the kids who are in your class too know you do it very well too, right? That's the thing. That's the thing. Now, you C12. So like C12 is in the like back. So the higher up you go, what does that do then? So like you
I'm
not
a
experience that.
T12, so
C10.
mine is a thoracic, so I'm a
Okay.
little lower. And there's rods in my back that hold my spinal cord together
But
because
if
it
that
was,
were to happen, other people, if that goes up higher, like talk about what that does.
yeah, their function then they can't move their arms. They'll have like their chest, they have no feeling in their chest, things like that. So it definitely affects people differently depending on where the injury is.
And so, is there a cure for spinal cord injuries?
There is not a specific cure. What we do is we go to physical therapy, and physical therapy builds up those muscles, and we're able to, work on different things to try to get our nerves to react.
Okay, so like you talked about driving. Talk to us about how you drive in here every day.
So I drive using hand controls. Obviously, I can't push the pedal down, so I use hand controls. So my hand controls are installed in my car. I press a little button, and then as I drive, I push down for the brake, and then I pull up to hit the gas.
Now, do you ever work? I mean, is that pretty intuitive? Are you able to do that pretty quick? Because I know a lot of cars are starting to have it where you can't like I have a car, so if there's so many cars lengths in front of me, it stops, right? Because they feel like it's time to stop. Does that your car do that as well?
It does. It
Awesome.
does. Yeah, I have all the functions on there.
So some of the kids are going to ask, like they want to know, how do you get in and out of your chair? That's always something I think the kids want to ask, but they don't know how to ask. So,
Yeah, so it's just an easy transfer. That's something that I was taught when I went to physical therapy. They teach you the right way to transfer your body from one point to the next. And obviously, with my injury, I do have my hands, so I put my hands down, transfer my legs over, and just kind of, it's like kind of like a hop.
okay. Now, do your arms ever get tired? That was a question I think some kids might have had.
Yes, yes, yes. My arms get really tired all the
Okay.
time.
So what kind of therapy do you do then? So what is your when you go to physical therapy and two-part question, what kind of physical therapy do you do and is it helping you?
It absolutely is helping me. So at the beginning of my injury, therapy was just all about relearning life in a wheelchair. So it was just teaching me like the transfers, teaching me how to use the restroom, teaching me how to drive, just everyday things. What I do in physical therapy now, I go to NeuroHope here in Indiana, and they're the best. And they are basically trying to get my nervous system to turn back on, to get the signals from my brain to go down to my lower extremities, because right now it's blocked. My spinal cord only is able to receive signals until it hits that T10, and then it stops. So what we're doing in therapy is they're trying to build those connections, and it's really cool. I am starting to get some hip flexion, which means like, I'm able to thrust my hips forward and throw my legs forward. So we do practice things like that. Like I'm able to stand in therapy and walk with a walker. So it's intense, but it is helping.
Now, some one class had a question: if would you be eligible for a service animal if this?
I will. I will. So typically you have to wait a year after your injury. My injury was November 4th, so I'm almost at that year mark. So as soon as that happens, then I can apply for a service dog. And I plan to.
So last question here, and I really appreciated like what your knowledge you're imparting to our students. If a student has a question of you, so they see you, I think sometimes they might walk by in your wheelchair, and you're like they don't want to ask a question, right? Or they don't know you well enough to do that. But really, you're just like I said, you're a Wesleyan Wildcat through and through. You didn't go through these halls because it was redone. But what do you tell a student if they see you and they have a question? What should they do? What should they do?
Ask. I mean, I am an open book. I came back to West Lane to bring awareness and to let you guys know that no matter what, you can keep pushing. You can keep moving forward. I was literally knocked down and I am here today. So I am here to answer any questions you have.
So we might have you on again if we have more questions off of this interview. So we have so I know there's some green ribbon buttons for the teachers in the lounge.
Yeah.
Students, if we want to make green buttons, green ribbons, we can do that too. It's pretty easy. So this goes through. And so thank you, Ms. Richardson. This was excellent Q&A. I think the kids learned a lot from it.
Oh, thanks.
All right. All right, so thank you, Ms. Richardson. And again, this September is Spinal Cord Injury Awareness Month. If you have any extra questions too, feel free to email me, and we will have another interview this month if you have any more questions about spinal cord injuries. All right, Student Council, Mr. Melrose's class, September 19th is the next meeting. Best Buddies is tonight, September 11th, from 4:30 to 6 o'clock, room C100, but you'll meet in the cafetorium. If you have any questions, please see Ms. Bellamy Wallsmith in C100. WEU forms are due by September the 20th. All forms go to Ms. Richmond in the bookstore. Open Gym is next September the 20th, as well from 6 to 7:30. It's all for Wesleyan students only. You cannot be an ISI or have more than one tardy between September 9th and the 20th to attend. All right, today for lunch is mac and cheese with Cheetos in them, meatball sub. Ooh, that was very popular last time. Chicken tender wrap, spicy tender wrap, and broccoli. Also tomorrow, pancake wrap or breakfast banana split, or cereal, juice, and peaches. Let's make sure we're cleaning up West Lane. We're keeping our hands off each other, to ourselves. Students are expected to observe standards of common decency and dress, which means no bare stomachs, no bare shoulders, no private areas should be showing, and no undone belts, no sleepwear, and no hats and hoods. Please sit at the correct table and facing the center of your table whenever you are sitting at your cafeteria. Also stay in your seat and have your ID. Yesterday, 8th grade, the only a few IDs missing. That was really well done. Stay in your seat until your grade level is called when you're returning back from lunch and walk back to your class. Everyone's doing their part and leaving a really clean tables. I continue to do that. I'll keep that on there every day. All right, each student gets an average of 1 pass a week, and no pass in the first 20 minutes or last 20 minutes of class, and teacher can also say no to passes. Students, all restroom passes out of class are 5 minutes or less, and also the bell does not dismiss you from class, your teacher does. Breakfast students, please report directly to the cafetorium off the bus to get breakfast, and all food should be eaten in the cafetorium. No food should be eaten outside the cafetorium. Student, your ID always should be around your neck, and for you to receive a hall pass and a checkout library books. And all cell phones are in your locker between 9:25 and 4:25. They'll be taken if they're seen or heard. And if you are using your smartwatch to text or like a phone, we'll treat it like a phone. And you know what that means. We'll take it away. All right, don't forget our motto, Cada Wildcat, Cada Dia Mejor, which means every Wildcat, every day gets better. Now, do you have more questions for Ms. Richardson at any time? Send them, have your teacher email them to me. And, or you can, like I said, like she said today, ask her. You do not have to be afraid of her. Like, talk with her. It's super easy. And she's more than willing to answer any questions. She wants to bring awareness to spinal cord injury. So without further ado, I want you to have a wonderful Wednesday.